Hello, and welcome to the YWCA of the University of Illinois' annual Stand Against Racism campaign. Racism is a public health crisis. Here are some messages from YWCA, CUPHD, and our sponsors.
My name is Mary Wakefield, and I'm the president of the board at the YWCA U of I. Thank you all for your interest and enthusiasm about our amazing 2021 Stand Against Racism event, sponsored by the United Way of Champaign County, PNC Bank, and Champaign-Urbana's Public Health District. We are passionate about and invested in combating racism and supporting women in our community. We recognize that we are a group of predominantly white women working in the anti-racism field, and that these are not our stories to tell. We want to also recognize that the majority of our speakers and contributors to this event are people of color, and that the success of this event is based on their expertise and efforts. Our aim is to center their voices so that we can all listen. We are thankful for their participation and the opportunity to learn from them and share in their knowledge and talents. We hope that this event is informative, eye-opening, and impactful for you, and we hope to continue creating thoughtful spaces and events to examine racism in our community and promote knowledge and anti-racist work and discussion. I want to thank our title sponsors, the United Way of Champaign County, PNC Bank, and the Champaign-Urbana Public Health District for helping make this event possible. Their support allows us to pay our speakers for their time and energy and bring these videos to all of you. I hope you enjoy these amazing talks and poems that we have lined up this week, and that you support our organization in our work and towards our mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. You can find us at ywcauofi.org to donate to our programs. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Andrea Rondell, and I'm the Executive Director of the YWCA of the University of Illinois. We're excited to have you join us this April as we hold our events for our Stand Against Racism campaign. This year's theme, Racism is a Public Health Crisis, is especially timely. Public health is the science of protecting the safety and improving the health of groups of people, from small communities to entire countries. Just like with any public issue, we use different mechanisms to pursue public health. We use legislation to regulate the amount of lead in drinking water. We enact policies to ensure safe housing codes. We promote social norms like hand washing to limit the spread of colds. We educate the public about how diseases are spread, like HIV and coronavirus. So how does racism factor into it? Racism does not have to be intentional. It is often an unintentional effect of how we structure our lives. And when racial health inequities are created or perpetuated by things like policies and legislation, racism becomes a public health crisis. When Black, Indigenous, and communities of people of color cannot easily access healthy food, that's a public health problem. When Black women disproportionately lack health insurance and health care, which leads to Black mothers and their babies being 2 to 3 times more likely to experience illness or death than it is for white women, that's a public health problem. When Asian American and Pacific Islander communities are being attacked because they're maliciously associated with coronavirus, that is a public health problem. And when we only use English to educate the public about diseases so that Spanish speakers can't get good information about how to be safe from coronavirus, that is also a public health problem. When public health inequities rack up along racial lines because we don't see the needs of communities of color, all of that becomes a public health crisis. And when we, as white people, get the better end of those inequities, it doesn't matter if we intend to cause these problems. It's up to us to recognize that this is a crisis and fix it. So this is our invitation to you, to join us as we listen to experts in the field and listen to personal experiences, to take a good look at racial health inequities and the structures that perpetuate them, and to continue the dialogue about how we're going to change them. We look forward to continuing these discussions with you and making our community a healthier, more equitable, and just place for all of us. Thank you for joining us.
Champaign-Urbana Public Health District has joined the American Public Health Association, the National Association of County and City Health Officials, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and many other public health departments across the United States when our Board of Health declared racism as a public health crisis. The widespread disparities caused by racism are a public health crisis which affects us all. If we are to make true progress in eliminating health disparities in Champaign County, we must first address racism, which is at the root.
Hi, I'm Sue Gray. Through our work at United Way, we have seen how race can disproportionately impact a person's health. Racism and bias must be addressed so that everyone has access to the health care they need. That's why we are sponsoring this year's Stand Against Racism events. Please join the YWCA of the University of Illinois for a series of virtual events, April 19th through the 22nd. Learn how this issue impacts our community and how you can stand against racism.
PNC is proud to join the YWCA and make a stand against racism. At PNC, we're committed to doing our part in ending systemic racism and supporting economic empowerment of African Americans and low to moderate income communities. Though we've been on this journey for decades and know this work is vital, we know that more is required. Thank you for doing your part in standing against racism.
Transportation inequities reduce access to quality jobs, healthcare, healthy food, and education. Barriers to mobility contribute to structural racism, so MTD tries to eliminate those barriers through thoughtful service planning, affordable fares, community engagement, and meaningful partnerships. Providing safe, reliable, and affordable transportation throughout our community is our effort to promote racial equity. We are proud to stand with the YWCA in their stand against racism for 2021.